reports from ITN.
Gorbachev, the last president of the Soviet Union, resigns. The red flag of communism is lowered over the Kremlin. Yeltsin takes control of 30,000 Soviet nuclear weapons. And world leaders pay tribute to Gorbachev's achievements. Good evening. The red flag came down over the Kremlin tonight as President Gorbachev resigned and brought to an end 7 decades of communist rule in the Soviet Union. Right to the last, Mr. Gorbachev said he was unhappy at the breakup of the country, but he pledged to do everything he could for the new Commonwealth of Independent Republics. The Russian President, Boris Yeltsin, now has his finger on the nuclear button. We have 2 reports from Moscow on the final hours of the Soviet Union.
As Mikhail Gorbachev resigned, the Soviet and Russian flags still fluttered side by side above the Kremlin. But Mr. Gorbachev finally brought the curtain down on the Soviet Union and his own extraordinary career.
Compatriots, due to the situation which has evolved as a result of the formation of the Commonwealth of Independent States, I hereby discontinue my activities at the post of President of the USSR.
The manner of his departure reflected the nature of his rule. The Kremlin, so long the forbidden city of the Soviet Empire, opened its doors to the world. Mr. Gorbachev quit live on satellite TV.
This society has acquired freedom. It has been freed politically and spiritually, and this is the most important achievement that we have yet to fully come to grips with. And we haven't, because we haven't learned to use freedom yet.
Later, in an interview with CNN, Mr. Gorbachev showed documents which formally hand control of the nuclear arsenal to Boris Yeltsin. He was now stripped of all power.
We are cooperating, I think, in the interest of our states, in the interests of the Commonwealth, in the interests of the world.
Mikhail Gorbachev inherited an empire maintained by the iron fist of central control. He's leaving behind 15 independent states which share only a disastrous economy and an uncertain future. Tonight, the Kremlin's red flag was lowered for the last time. People in this country, said Mr. Gorbachev, are ceasing to become citizens of a great power. Tim Hewitt, ITN, Moscow.
Out with the old, in with the new. Russia's tricolour tonight replacing the red flag over the Kremlin. A country renamed and reborn, and now in the hands of Boris Yeltsin. The Russian president has today received control of the former Soviet nuclear arsenal. He reassured the West that he'd strive to prevent it ever being used.
The nuclear weapons are going to be controlled by just one person, and I don't want the international community to be worried about it.
Mr. Yeltsin today predicted grave economic difficulties for the coming year, but said he was confident the new Commonwealth would ultimately succeed.
The people here are weary of pessimism, and the share of pessimism is too much for the...
Соотечественники, сограждане, в силу сложившейся ситуации с образованием Содружества независимых государств я прекращаю свою деятельность.